Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Hot Seat Interview. I, of course, am your host, Leo Brady, film critic for AMovieGuy.com, and I am here today with a guest who is an excellent, amazing actor. You know him from things such as Mad Men and his amazing performance in the miniseries Chernobyl. We're here today to talk about his brand new film, The Brink of War. This is Jared Harris. Jared, thanks for being with me.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, this is great. So I'm very interested to hear how you'll answer the first question that we ask everybody that comes onto this show.
Well, I should have done my research.
Yeah, well, especially because, because of your dad and growing up as you did. But the first question always is, what movie for you comes to mind? What's the movie that you maybe saw as a kid or growing up that made you say, yeah, I want to do that. I want to be an actor. I want to make
Well, I don't know. I didn't think I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. So that came a lot later. I mean, the first film that I remember really gripping my imagination and just watching it endlessly was Jason and the Argonauts.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great choice. I mean, especially too with like the Odyssey going on now. Everybody's been talking about that, and Ray Harryhausen and
yeah,
the amazing creations of things like that. That's
those skeleton warriors. They're fantastic.
Yeah. The creative mind that comes from movies like that. That we get a lot of answers like Spielberg. We get a lot of like it's always the movies that really just make you kind of in awe of what movies can do.
I think that memory is always associated with emotion.
Yeah.
So it's something is emotionally attached itself to something, and that's why you remember it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and for you, kind of like you said, acting started when you attended Duke University School of Drama. I mean, there's obviously connections with your family, but for you, was going to Duke a way for you to almost, and I've heard you talk about how your dad really didn't pressure you or anything for that, but you talked about, but did going to Duke sort of allow you to carve your own path, to do it on your own terms?
That was the idea of going to Duke, was to carve my own path.
Yeah.
I think my family, being the middle child, I found myself arguing with my brothers a lot. So they thought, well, he likes to argue, maybe he can be a lawyer. My elder brother tried to leave school early and have to skip his exams, and my mother said, no, you can leave the school, but you're still going to take your exams. So I put my head down and made sure I passed them on the first try. And she went, well, he likes studying. Maybe he should go into academics and be a teacher or something.
Yeah.
So I just didn't like the future they were mapping out for myself. And I went to America like a lot of other people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and then you kind of, you found your passion there too. I mean, you talked about making you even like directed your own film.
I did.
Yeah, to start. Well, and it's funny because I was reading and looking through your filmography of directors that you've worked with, and I'm gonna read off a list. You've got Catherine Bigelow, Bob Zemeckis, Kelly Reichardt, Guy Ritchie, Steven Spielberg, David Fincher, Carpenter, Soderbergh, Shyamalan, so many more.
Scorsese?
Yeah, Scorsese now.
I just worked with him. Yeah.
Yep. So like
Wayne Wang.
Yeah. Do you look
Ron
at
Howard?
Right.
Michael Mann. Yeah.
Well, do you look at like opportunities to work with artists? Do you want to work with people, directors who sort of have a style, have something that you can sort of get involved with and work in that sandbox with a lot of people, but sort of see their vision come to life?
Well, I mean, movies are almost exclusively the director's sandbox.
Yeah.
They have to make a decision every 45 to 50 seconds on set.
Yeah.
So I remember I read a very early draft of Dracula.
Yeah.
That Coppola was making. And I remember reading it going, God, what a funny script. It's just like softcore porn or something. I didn't get it at all.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get the part. I went to see the movie and I was blown away by it, really spectacularly blown away by it. And I understood wow, that you really can't tell what a director's going to bring to it. But the director does bring a unique vision. And so that's what you're looking for. You can't tell what they're going to do, but you can see their other movies and maybe have an idea for it. But they really define what the experience is going to be like. So
Right.
yeah, you want to work with great directors. You'd like to have great parts, with great directors, and that's a lot more difficult to achieve. So sometimes you trade off a great part with, you're not working with a director whose work you're really familiar with.
Right, right. Yeah, well, and it's that's interesting too because I think this is my own personal opinion. I think your performance in Chernobyl was one of the greatest performances I've seen in the last 10, 20 years.
Well,
I
thank
think
you.
I think you should have taken home every award that you were nominated for that. But playing the character of Legasov, like the major
I was
focus,
kind of say on that one, I was kind of relieved on the Emmy night. I know that sounds weird, but
yeah,
When They See Us was nominated for as many things as we did, and um, that
yeah,
we won practically everything, and
right,
that the only thing that won was Best Actor. So I was sort of relieved that happened because at the end of the day, these are trade shows. If you ran the award ceremony 3 months earlier or 3 months later, you get a different result. Maybe even 3 weeks earlier or 3 weeks later.
right.
So
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah.
but that performance is all you. I mean, and that entire miniseries is you. Was that one of the tougher performances for you that you've ever had to give? I mean, you stand up
That
in front.
was. I mean,
Yeah.
they shot three-quarters of my role inside the first 4 weeks
Wow.
of a 5-month shoot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was tough. Also, I mean, the trick with that film and that role was I had an insane amount of exposition,
Right.
but I had to disguise it. So it wasn't expo. You didn't receive it as exposition. You received it as something else.
Yeah.
So I mean, the trick with that one was trying to come up with a personal route through the story so that the exposition was coming out from a different need other than we need to tell the audience how a nuclear reactor works. We need to tell an audience how radiation works. We need to
Right.
tell an audience how, whatever the different things are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like it's again, your character gives us all the information, but at the same time, too, is carrying the weight of it all as well. I mean, that's
Mm.
and that's
Well,
where
in that way, he was a Cassandra character, not too dissimilar to say the character in The Terror, or uh, I mean, but as a bunch of other characters I've played, there are Cassandra characters who they understand the the they can see the looming iceberg coming, but no one will believe them.
right, right. Yeah, I mean, well, and for you too, a lot of your performances, you've done a little bit of both. You've been real life characters, you've been, fictional characters. Which do you prefer? I mean, like obviously with the Brink of War, you're playing a real life person. Do you prefer one or the other, or is it just preferring research over creating from inside out?
Well, I mean, they both present the same challenges, but one of them you've been given a lot of the work ahead of time. You don't have to start from scratch and just figure out who somebody is, what are their goals in life, what is their backstory, what do they sound like, how do
Yeah,
they move, how
right.
physically comfortable and competent are they. When you've got a historical character, a lot of that work's been done for you,
Yeah,
and then it's been done again by the writer who's decided what they want to focus on.
yeah,
So, but on the other hand, if the person is well known, like I know I played John Lennon,
yeah, yeah,
um, if the person's well known, they already have an idea of who they think that character is. And if you don't conform to that idea, as in the John Lennon thing,
yeah.
because in that version of it, he was an angry man. And that
Right.
wasn't the sort of peacenik that the audience wanted to remember him by.
Yeah,
So you run into that problem.
yeah.
But they're all great challenges, and they are, by definition, great parts because they were great men.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, and talk about playing Gorbachev. I mean, uh, you know, how do you prepare to be the leader of the Soviet Union, capture him specifically in this moment too? Like I was thinking while watching the film, I'd watched Werner Herzog's documentary where he interviewed Gorbachev, but that's Gorbachev way past. That's in his
Much later.
yeah, much later.
Yeah,
So this is a different
yeah.
time period. So how do you approach playing him?
Um, I mean, much the same way that I described. I think I would say there was two specific challenges with this. One was the movie is told from a very American centric point of view,
Yeah,
and so in that sense, I arrive as the kind of antagonist or villain of the piece,
right.
but I did not see him that way at all.
Yeah,
Having grown up in Europe, we were more alarmed by what Ronald Reagan's stance towards the Soviet Union, and it didn't change until Gorbachev came along and offered a different relationship.
yeah,
He was looking for a partnership and to um, reset the relationship with the West. So I remembered him very differently. And the other thing that the big challenge was, there's no record of him speaking English.
mm,
So we had to decide what he was going to sound like speaking English, because otherwise the film would be 5 hours long.
right.
And we kind of went through different versions of it, the sort of very heavy accents, but that made it sound like he was struggling to articulate himself and something that wasn't his first language, and he was incredibly articulate.
Yeah.
So we went with a different version of it that was, less obvious, if you like, but still sounded other to the American accent.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and in that performance, it takes two to tango in this movie. It's for the majority of it, it's just the two of you, you and Jeff Daniels
Mm,
in a room together.
mm.
How did you work on chemistry with him? I mean, or do the two of you stay in your trailers and not see each other because it's a better impact to not see each other and then get into that room and have this sparked moment? Or is it once we get into the room, we figure it out and know how to do our roles?
We had 3.5 weeks. There wasn't enough time to stay in your trailer. There were no trailers, you know. We were
Yeah,
back. You didn't leave that room, and
yeah,
there was no rehearsal. We'd run the lines a couple of times, so we understood, um, our cues, and we got an idea of the pacing and everything. But you're up and running immediately. There's not enough time for a lot of experimenting. You have to show up with a plan,
yeah.
and then be prepared to pivot when you see what the other person's doing, so that you're passing the energy back and forward.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it really is like a tennis match, right? I mean, it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and then I will react to how this goes with my lines, right? I mean, or is it because there's no
Well,
improv there, right?
there's no improv. I
Yeah.
mean, the thing is that the characters have egos,
Hmm.
and big ones, because that's why they're in the situations that they're in.
Right.
And so part of what you're negotiating is when you're able to park your ego, because there's a bigger goal you're trying to achieve, and when your ego gets triggered, so suddenly you respond in a way that you might regret 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
um, so and then in that sense, Jeff was very, um, he obviously controlled the space and the playing, and he allowed me to challenge him appropriately, as Gorbachev would, um, and I delivered on my side, so that he had at least 2/3 of the responsibility. I mean, that was a mountain that he had to climb, so
Right.
he didn't have to worry about what was coming back at him.
Yeah. 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 Well, and for you too, I mean, is there a process with the makeup that helps you even get
That
into
was 3.5 hours in the makeup chair every day. Yeah,
wow. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like that is sort of a little bit of a catalyst, right? Like you're like, okay, now I am him. Uh
I mean, it helps when you look in the mirror and you go, "Yeah, I resemble this character,"
right.
and we didn't have to spend 6 hours sort of trying to completely change it. The idea of those things is particularly on a schedule like that, where you don't have the time to do that kind of thing,
Right.
is you get close enough that the audience goes, yes, I am not distracted. I
Right.
know who this person is, and I can focus on the story.
Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Well, before I let you go, I mean, obviously, this film, it feels timely today. It's a movie
Mm.
about two men having diplomacy, two men, getting in a room and having a conversation. What is sort of that message that you hope maybe people take from it, or do you even think do you think we're too far gone in a world like that today, or do you think we can get back to a place like that?
Well, the two-part answer to that question. The first part is, if you think of where they were at that point of time, you couldn't have gotten two people who were more ideologically opposed to one another.
Right.
And yet they were able to sit across from one another and find common cause and try and settle some of their differences.
Yeah.
The other part answer to that question is, things had gotten really, really bad by then.
Yeah.
The stakes were so high that something needed to be done.
Yeah.
So maybe the stakes aren't high enough at the moment. Maybe things need to get worse for people to properly stand up and go, okay, we've had enough of this, had enough of the screaming across the fence at each other. We
Yeah.
need to do something. We can't wait, can't listen to the people who are just interested in screaming and scoring points. We
Yeah.
need to figure out a way to solve, have to agree on what the problems are to start off with.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult to solve a problem if the other side says it doesn't exist,
Right.
or one side says they think they're talking to people who are controlled by lizard aliens or something.
Right.
You're not going to be able to talk policy with somebody like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, and one more thing before I let you go, I just want to let you know
Yes.
I love your father's performance in Gladiator. I think it
Mm.
is one of his most beautiful performances, and I think that should just be stated before I let you go. Jared Harris, thank you so much for speaking with me
There you
today.
go. Have
Oh
a
my
look.
God, the man, the legend.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. The Brink of War is now playing in theaters everywhere. We hope everyone will go out and see it. Jared Harris, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.